Hello everyone, welcome back to the Freedom Holidays module. So far in our lessons, we have learned about the 4th of July, which celebrates the freedom of the United States from Great Britain. We've learned about Juneteenth, which celebrates the freedom of enslaved people. We've learned about Women's Equality Day, which celebrates the freedom of women to vote. So at this point in United States history, lots of people are free. Free to vote, free to buy land and own homes, free to have a bank account, free to have a job that pays them money, free to do lots of things. But not everyone was free yet. People in this country who are LGBT plus were not free. Now, you might have never heard that term before, LGBT. Well, let me tell you what it means. The L stands for the word lesbian. Lesbians are women who love other women. G stands for gay, and gay men are men who love other men. B stands for bisexual, and bisexual people are people who love both men and women. And the T stands for transgender. A transgender person is someone who the doctors made a mistake about when they were born. When a baby is born, the doctors will tell the parents what gender they think that baby is. They'll say, we think your child is a female, or we think your child is a male. But some people, when they get a little bit older, realize what the doctors said was not right. They might say that the doctors told me I was a man, but I'm really a woman. Or they might say, the doctors told me I'm a woman, but I'm really a man. And so when they grow up and they can tell people that the doctors made a mistake about their gender, then they can transition to be the gender that they actually are. So transgender men are people who the doctors thought was a woman when they were born, but when they grew up, they could tell people that they're actually a man, and so they transition to be a man. And transgender women are people who, when they were born, the doctors thought they were a man, but when they grow up, they tell people, no, I'm actually a woman, and so they transition to be a woman. And so that is who transgender people are. And then there's the plus sign at the end, because there are actually a lot of other people who love in ways that society hasn't always allowed. It used to be that only men and women were allowed to love each other. Women were not allowed to love other women. Men were not allowed to love other men. People were not allowed to transition to a different gender. And this was wrong, because there are lots of men who love other men, and there are lots of women who love women, and there are lots of people who are transgender. And there are lots of other people who want to love in a different way than the world says that they're allowed to. So back then, when people weren't allowed to love who they wanted to love or to be who they wanted to be, they were not able to live freely or happily. So for many decades in recent history, there has been a movement for LGBT people to get the same rights as everyone else. And actually, in 2014, the United States Supreme Court, which is part of our government, right? Government is one of our big words. It means the people who make the decisions and make the rules for what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do. So the Supreme Court in 2014 said that everyone can marry each other. Men can marry men, women can marry women, anyone can marry who they want to, because love is love. And that was a huge success for the LGBT movement towards their freedom. So even though this country said that everyone was free, women were free, people of color were free, we were free from Great Britain, we said that we were free and that everyone was equal and that everyone deserved to live happily and freely. But the LGBT community was not living freely, and people had to fight so that they could live the way they wanted to live. So we're going to learn today about 3 famous LGBT activists. An activist is someone who fights to make change happen. And so these LGBT activists fought so that they could love who they wanted to love and they could be who they wanted to be. They fought so they could make their own decisions about their own life. So we're going to learn about 3 famous LGBT activists today, to learn about how they fought so that all LGBT people could be free and be who they wanted to be and love whoever they wanted to love. So you're going to watch 3 videos about those people, and then you're going to do a writing activity. So I will see you guys again at the end. Have fun!